Hi, welcome to the Improved Garage YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be switching gears a little bit. As I mentioned in my introduction video ages ago, it seems, I'm going to be talking about some electronics and some other related things. So today I'm going to be talking about headphones and what I have and what I use and what I've used and what I like and don't like. So you've probably seen in the videos earlier that I'm often wearing these headphones around my neck. All right, so you've probably seen in the videos in the past where I'm wearing headphones around my neck, and I always seem to probably have a different pair of headphones on. And it's really because I've been chasing the best set. And the best set used to exist, well, at least the best set in my opinion, used to exist and doesn't anymore. So these are called Beats X. They were made, I don't know, for the last 7 years, give or take, and they stopped making them earlier this year when they replaced them with the Beats Flex, which I'll talk about next. What I liked about the Beats X was that they are an Apple-based headset, which means that they have this W1 chip in them, which makes them pair with iPhones really easily and go between your devices really easily. So you add it to your iPhone, you can immediately go to your MacBook, you can go to other devices, you can move between those devices. Second thing was they use Lightning to charge, the same connector that my phone used, which I don't think that Lightning is superior to USB-C or to mini USB or anything else when it comes to charging a pair of headphones. Realistically, they're charging these things at 5 watts or so anyway. What I liked about the Lightning port was that I tended to always have a Lightning cable around because I had an iPhone and the iPhone was Lightning. What was great about these was that they came with, all Beats X came with 4 sets of these ear rubbers. So this is the medium size. They have small, medium, large, and then they also have this one. It's like a 2-stage. It looks kind of like a little teepee. So they come with 4 different sizes of earbuds to fit inside your ears. But they also came with these things called wingtips. So these are what the wingtips are. It's what they look like. They go on the earphone kind of like this. You can pull the rubber off first. They go on here like that. And the purpose of them was to kind of keep them in your ear. So when you put one in your ear, it goes in and it kind of hooks inside your ear like that. And they stay really securely. So like when you're leaning over a car, when you're crawling under a car, when you're moving around and working, they just stay in your ear really securely. They work very well. So I like them a lot. And, the reason why I have the headphones is because I'm on my phone all day, every day. I'm listening to podcasts if I'm not talking on the phone. I work in customer service at an IT company. I'm on the phone all day, every day. And, rather than hold my iPhone up to my ear, I like using the headset. It lets me answer text messages, answer emails while I'm on the phone. So I can kind of use my phone for 2 different things at once. I can look up things or add things to my calendar while I'm on the phone. Having a set of headphones, Bluetooth headphones, works really well for that. Also, when I'm working around the house, whether I'm mowing the grass or washing a car or whatever I happen to be doing, having these headphones makes it easy to listen to podcasts, to listen to music, to listen to whatever I want to, besides silence. So these Beats X were great, and I purchased, I want to say 5 pairs over the course of about 5 years, but I used them every single day. I plugged them in and charged them. I would have one charging while I was wearing the other pair. I had 2 different colors. I had a blue pair and a black pair most recently. But I would charge one pair while I was listening to the other. And that way, I just always had one that was ready for me. I could always pick one up. One thing that was cool about them is if you found yourself in a position where your Beats X were dead and maybe they're the only pair of headphones you have, you can plug them into a lightning charger and within 5 minutes they charge up with enough power to be able to use them for 2 hours. Now, when they started out making them, they came with these wingtips. The last 2 years of production, they stopped adding the wingtips. So the wingtips weren't in the kit. All you got were the three circles. And they fit your ear fine, but they just don't stay securely in without the wingtips. So, you know, the last couple pairs that I ordered, I would actually steal the wingtips from my previous pairs. So why did I have so many? Well, they fail. And where they fail is there's a wire that runs between these two sections. So this section is the charger section with the battery in it, and this section is the power section. You know, and there's wires in between the two of them to carry sound and the controls from the headphones and all of that stuff, and the wires fail. So, you know, I've had them fail before where I could kind of go like this and squeeze the wire from one end to the other, and then I press the button and magically they turn on for a little while. I've had them where one ear stops working. You know, I've had them fail in a variety of ways, and they cost about $100. So it wasn't a big deal. You know, I went through 5 pairs in 5 years, but I used them every single day. Usually both pairs every single day, because the full battery power is about 8 hours. So, you know, I would use one from when I get up until it ran dead, and then I would switch to the other one, put that one on the charger. So generally I would use both of them every single day. So when my last pair of Beats X failed, which are these just won't turn on. I plugged them into the charger and they blink red, white, red, white, red, white, red, white, which is an error code. I'm sure that there's a broken wire, some sort of connection that's shorted out or something like that. So when I went for my last pair of Beats X, they no longer make them. So I purchased the next iteration, which is called Beats Flex. And I currently have 2 pairs of Beats Flex. So these greenish yellow ones. They make them in some cool colors. They have this, they have a blue. These are the black ones, or like black and red. So I went to these. And my hope was that I was going to be able to reuse my wingtips. They still have the W1 chip. They changed to using USB-C for charging, but they still have the fast fuel technology. So you plug them in for a couple minutes and you could use them for a longer length of time. They integrated the remote into the on-off battery thing, so it's not as far down the wire as it used to be, which I don't really care for as much. You know, but in general, they fit your ears, they sound good, they work well, and these cost $50. So they're half the price of what the old Beats X were. But there are still no wingtips, and these wingtips don't fit them because the head is actually fatter on these, and I guess it's because they have a larger speaker size or something along those lines. These heads are fatter than the old ones used to be, so these wingtips don't fit. You know, so I don't really have an option for wingtips on Beats anymore. I do like that these have something called fast switching, so I can connect them to both my iPhone and my MacBook, and if I press play on either device, it will, you know, it'll play what's there. So like I could be watching a YouTube video on my MacBook, for example, and listening to it, and my phone rings, I press the button, it answers on my phone. And it's very easy to go back and forth between Apple devices because they're still owned by Apple. They are using USB-C for charging now. I generally have USB-C connectors around because the MacBook switched to that. You know, so it's not a huge ordeal to go, you know, from the USB-C to something else. So they're not terrible, but they're not as good as the Beats X were, but they're also half the price. So I have 2 pairs of those, and that's what I've been using now for the last, I don't know, 6 months, give or take. Just same thing as the Beats X. I pick one up in the morning, I use it until it's dead, then I switch to the other one. I've kind of always got one on the charger while I'm using the other. In the box, they include the same 4 sizes of ears that we used to have. You know, so there's a large, there's a small, the mediums are on it, and then here's the little TP one. They don't include this nifty case with them in it. They just come free in the box. And they include like a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, and that's the biggest gripe that people have about these. They include a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, so it's got USB-C on both ends. No power brick. So it doesn't have anything to plug them in. It just has a cable with USB-C on both ends. So the Apple is implying that you can plug them into your MacBook and that you'll be able to charge them that way. But for your average user, if they don't have a MacBook, if they're a Windows user, if maybe they just don't have a newer MacBook Pro or a newer MacBook Air and they're using one of the older ones that uses the the MagSafe connector, they would have to buy a brick, a brick like this that has a USB-C connector on it, or they would have to buy a, like a little Anchor square brick or something along those lines. Okay, so these work fine. They're not terrible. They're not great for working on cars, because what I find is that, like, when you're upside down, you're like, I was doing brakes on the Mazda, you're upside down, they fall out of your ears and stuff like that. Because the weight of this pulls the cables out of your ears. Now, I know a lot of people switch to AirPods, AirPod Pros. I really don't like the AirPods or the AirPod Pros because they don't have a tether, because they don't have a way to hang around my neck. So these are literally on my neck from the moment I wake up until I go to bed. One pair of them is. So I wear them around my neck. I've got usually one ear in or both ears in, and I'm listening to something. I can pull the other ear out if I'm having a conversation with somebody, and I press the button to pause it. But they stay around my neck all day. If I'm doing something, they're hanging around my neck. I don't have to constantly take them out of my ears and put them in my pocket, but all day they're coming in and out of my ears. These, the fact that they hang around my neck makes them incredibly useful and a really good option. I know that there are other third parties that make them, LG, Samsung, a variety of manufacturers. Anchor has some. I've tried a couple of the others of them. I honestly don't really care for them. The W1 chip and the fast app switching and that kind of stuff makes these a really good value, and they sound good. So I don't see, there's no reason for me to switch to kind of a different brand if they don't bring something else to the table. So I picked these up. These are Bowers & Wilkins PI3s. My local Costco had them, and they seem pretty nice. They've got this, it's like a metal body, it's a flat cable. They come with wingtips in the box. They come with, I think there's 2 different sizes of rubber heads and then 2 different sizes of wingtips. And of course you can take the wingtips off if you want. They use USB-C for charging. They can connect to 2 devices simultaneously. The sound quality is good. They don't do they do kind of do the fast app switching because they can connect to 2 devices simultaneously. So if I connect it to my iPhone and my MacBook, I can, it'll go back and forth between the 2 of them, and you press play on one, it pauses the other, etc. There's an app for them, a companion app, and inside that companion app, there's some settings that you can tweak. So you can say, like, I want to, let me just pull it up really quick. Okay, so there's this app, it's just called Headphones, and there's a button that says tap to connect, so let me just turn them on really quick. So Bowers & Wilkins connected, and it gives you options like you can set connection 1, set connection 2, you can pair them right out of the app. In the past, it's used my MacBook Air. It's connected to my garage computer, which is here because I've had video conferences and stuff. It shows you the battery level right there. You can also, I don't think there's any sound options or anything like that, so it's a pretty simple app. There's a power off timer, so you can tell it to automatically power off after not being connected to something or not playing music for a certain length of time. You can give them a custom name. There's a software update, so it'll automatically push software updates. And that's something I didn't really touch on with the Beats X and the Beats Flex. Because these are Apple products, if you have them connected to an Apple iPhone, they will automatically receive updates from the Apple iPhone. So it just automatically happens. It's not something you have to worry about. If you're a Windows or Android user, there's a special app that you run every once in a while, and you can do firmware updates to them as needed. So there's a power off timer. There's voice prompts. You can reset them, you can name them, etc. And they work pretty well. The one thing that I find annoying is that they automatically, when you're walking through your house, so if you've got them connected to 2 devices like your iPhone and your MacBook, they constantly tell you that like device connected, device disconnected, device connected, device disconnected. So I just you hear that as you're walking around, as it comes within range and out of range of other devices. You can set from the history, do you want it to automatically connect to your last connected device, to your iPhone, to your MacBook, whatever you want to. So when you first turn these on, what are they going to connect to? So you can say, I want them to always connect to my iPhone, and then you can just manually choose any other device. So, you know, they work pretty well. They're about $100, and the battery life is good. They're as good as those. They don't charge quite as fast, but they work well. The microphone quality isn't quite as good as these. And I mean, it's a single hole on the microphone. These have like this whole section, or sorry. Yeah, that's it. There's like a mesh section here. That's the microphone. So the microphone on this doesn't sound quite as good as it does on that. I didn't really notice that on phone calls. I noticed it on like when I was recording YouTube videos and I had these around my neck. My sound didn't sound as good as they do on this. But your average person probably won't care or be able to tell. So, you know, these are honestly a pretty good alternative to the Beats if you've been, you know, if you like the Beats X, if you're like me and you're looking for something to replace it, and the Beats Flex kind of dropped the ball in a couple of ways, those Bowers & Wilkins PI3s are a good alternative. So I just got these in today. I haven't opened them yet. So these are Shure SE215s, and the first set of headphones like these that I had were a pair of wired Shures. Let me go grab those. The very first set of high-end earbuds, and I mean like earbuds other than the ones that come with Apple iPhones, or, you know, the crap that we bought when I was a kid, like the JVC Jam or whatever, were these Shure headphones. And I don't really know the model number. I'm not sure if I can even, you know, I've had them for so long that there's barely any writing left on them. But they're awesome. The sound quality is awesome. They work really, really well. They are headphones only. There is no microphone. It's just for listening to music. And I use these for years and years and years. I like that they kind of wrap around the ear. They wrap around the top of the ear and they kind of stick into the ear like that. So because of that, they stay in your ear really well, and the sound quality is really, really good. You know, and really the only reason that I moved away from these in the first place was because, well, there are a couple things. You know, one, I wanted a microphone so that I could be able to make and receive phone calls. And number two, Apple did away with the 3.5mm headphone plug on the iPhone, so then you need an adapter to make them work. And for a while I had the adapter in the box, but really, like, you can't make and receive phone calls on these. And, you know, that's kind of the key. Like I said, I'm on the phone all the time. You know, I'm talking to customers, I'm talking to family, parents, friends, whatever. I'm on the phone all the time. So, you know, having headphones that I can make and receive phone calls on, you know, it's much better than holding the phone up to your ear the entire time. It makes it so that you can do things, so that you can, you know, you can do laundry, you can cook dinner, you can work on a car while you're talking to somebody on the phone, you know, and it's better than the alternative, which is speakerphone. Like, speakerphone is terrible unless multiple people are talking to one person. That is what speakerphone is designed for. It's not designed to be having a conversation with one other single person while you're walking through a Walmart. I'm sorry. It's just not. End of rant. So, you know, I was looking for something a little bit better than these. The Bowers & Wilkins aren't bad. So I picked up these Shures. So these are Shure SE215s. They make there's like a 215, a 315, a 415, something like that. There's a couple different options. These are about $100. They make them in Bluetooth, they make them in wired, they have a couple different versions. So these are the Bluetooth ones, so it's SE215-CL, which means they're clear. They make them in black and blue also. -BT1, which means they're Bluetooth. So we'll open this up here. The top is like glued on. So serial number. All right, so these came from Amazon. I'm sure they're available in other places as well. Shure is a very well-known name in the performance audio and DJ space. They make, you know, high-end microphones, lavalier mics, handheld microphones like the SM58 is a pretty well-known microphone. They make the SM7B, which is a pretty high-end podcast and vlogging microphone. I've always felt their products were well thought out. They have good warranties, but then again, I've never made they have good warranties on paper, but I've never made a warranty claim. I've never had a problem with a Shure product. I've never actually had anything break. So I don't know what they're like to deal with as a company, but their products are awesome. So let's see what's in the box here. So we've got a bag, storage bag to put them in with a little clip on it so you can like clip it to the backpack or whatever. That's nice. They use micro USB for charging, so they have a regular USB to micro USB connector. So there is no power brick in the box, but you know, contrary to this, which gave me a USB-C to USB-C, not everyone has a way to plug this in yet. And at some point, everybody will. You know, that is becoming the standard because it can carry, you know, 100 watts of power or whatever the limit is. Everybody has this. They have a computer, they have a brick in their car, they have a USB port on their whatever. Their car has a USB port for them to plug in an iPod. Like there are ways to charge this very easily. So I don't fault Shure for not including the square power brick the same way that I fault Apple for not including it in the Beats connector box, because it just, like, not everybody has it. But then again, they say it on the box. It's $50, doesn't include a brick. So, you know, I suppose if you take that and you add a brick to it, you're at $62 or whatever, and, you know, you're good to go. So I guess for somebody who doesn't have a brick, it's cheaper because it doesn't include one, so maybe that's a selling point. So let's see what we have here. Wear them like earplugs. A good acoustic seal provides maximum bass. Select a sleeve, twist and pull to remove, push new sleeve on fully, compress the foam slightly, insert firmly into ear. Wear cable over and behind ear. So let's see what we're looking at here. There's this hanging tag. I've got a charging cable. Inside here I've got, there's like rubber earplugs. So we've got so it's like a medium, a large, medium, small, small. And this is like a clip. So move that out of the way, so it's all packaging material. So then in here, we have the actual headphones themselves. So as I mentioned, these are the clear ones. They make them in like a clear blue, like translucent blue color. And they make them in a black color as well. There are also, these are like foam. So there's small and large foam, and there's medium foams on them. So these are foam and these are like rubber. So these are more like what the Beats come with, and these are foam. So let's see what we have here. So we've got our remote control. We've got our battery pack, which has, I would imagine okay, so the charging port is on the actual remote control. There's like a little rubber cover on that versus it being exposed all the time like these are. That's probably a more annoying feature, but I bet it's going to make the charge jack stay clean longer. Sometimes I end up with like lint or something like that in the USB-C connector. It's rare, but so this should be the, let's see, there's probably a letter right on it. Oh, let's try them out. I'm guessing they go this way. So these wires are flexible, but they're like, there's stiffness to it. There's like a metal band in here that's designed to keep it so that it goes around your ear. So these are like the old Shure headphones. where they, they kind of go around your ear and they stay in. Now I've got the medium foam connectors on, and I will say that the sound deadening is a lot higher with nothing playing than what these are. So it would probably be a little bit harder to hold a conversation with them paused if somebody isn't, talking loudly or something along those lines. But it's probably also a lot better for high noise situations, like if you're on airplanes or, working in a machine shop or something like that all day, and you're looking for something that can, actually provide some noise reduction. So they fit well. The cables aren't incredibly long, so hanging down on my shirt, they don't go down very far. That is one of the things that I really like these, and the length isn't bad. But one of the things that I will say is when they're hanging around my neck, from time to time, I'll lean down in the washer or something like that, and it'll get caught on the edge of the bucket. So having something that's a little bit shorter is nice. So let's get them paired here. So we've got there's 3 buttons here, plus, minus, and a center button. So I'm guessing I'm probably going to press and hold this and look for something to blink. Okay. So I've got a blink happening. So we'll go to our Bluetooth settings. Shure BT1, there they are. Connected. Cool, well that was easy. So let's try listening to something. Okay, that's just a normal podcast. The sound quality is good on that. So listening to music, there's a song from Rush. The bass response is really good. They don't get incredibly loud, but I don't think that they really need to because they're blocking out so much of the sound around me. I'm really surprised by the bass response. They're way better than the Beats, I think, in that regard. Yeah, they actually they sound really good. So let's see, we've got a plus and minus volume here on the side, so we can adjust our volume on our phone from the headset. We've got a play pause button here to play and pause music. So I can play, pause, volume up, volume down. What else do we have? If I press and hold, hi Siri. So it looks like you can activate Siri by pressing and holding this. So yeah, seems to work fairly well. Pressing and hold also apparently shuts that off, so maybe it's just a long press. I don't have to read the manual and actually figure it out, but there is a way to activate Siri. I saw her come up on the screen, so I'll figure that out. So yeah, my first impression is they're honestly pretty good. They sound good. Now, one thing that's kind of cool about these, so I mentioned that I went through a bunch of pairs of Beats and I've just kind of replaced them over the years. They're $100, and $100 isn't a big deal for something that I use every day to me, because the amount of freedom that it provides me is tremendous. There's value there. So, for me, it wasn't a big deal. It was annoying that I had to go replace them every once in a while, but whatever. These are $100 as well, but they're kind of like this modular system. So you can actually disconnect the cable from the earbuds. So you can upgrade these earbuds to different models. They have the 215 and 315 and the 415, and I think that they have a little bit better speakers, although these sound really, really good in the higher ones. But then you can also swap out the cables. So they have cables that are Lightning, they have cables that are for Android that are USB-C or micro USB or something along those lines. So you can kind of switch between different cables and have some options there, which is nice. You can purchase them with a variety of cables. Like I said, I purchased the ones that are Bluetooth, but they are available to come with the Lightning cable right out of the box. I'll kind of remove this little tag here. Be careful to not nick the wire. So let's take a look at the case. So we've got our earbuds. Can kind of wrap them up. They go in this little case, which it's not great, but it seems fine. It's not, there is no case with Beats. There used to be a third-party company that made cases for the Beats, and I purchased one at one point. That's what this is. This actually isn't, it might be Beats. It's got the logo on it, but I think that it was made by some third-party seller on Amazon. I honestly can't remember at this point. It might be legit Beats, but this is kind of the same way. That was an extra thing. This is included in the box, so that's kind of nice. Looks like there's room for, a charging cable. There's room for this thing, which is the, it looks like it's it's probably to clean this out. So there's like a little hook here, so you can clean that out if you get like earwax stuck in it or something like that. That's actually thoughtful. Because usually what I do is I just take my rubber things off of my Beats from time to time, and I'll just clean them out if there's, something on them or something like that. But it looks like they give you the ability to clean them with this actual thing, which is nice. So yeah, I think that they seem really good. I'll kind of give them a try here over the next couple of days, and I'll post in my next video, how they are and how they work and how I like them. So yeah, I mean, that's, oops, I lost my little tool. So that's really all that I have for today. So I appreciate you watching. Oh, actually, I didn't talk about the clip. There's a clip in here too. Sorry. All right, so we've got this over our head. So Shure logo should be able to be read from behind you. So that's kind of the indicator of what side is right and what side is left. So this is a clip, and the intention of this clip is to keep it, so you can kind of just like clip it on the back of your shirt. Which might seem silly, but when you're rolling around on the ground under a car and stuff like that, what happens with these is that they roll to one side or they roll to the other side, and they end up you end up with, it's kind of like this, and it's in your ear, and it's like hanging out the one end. So the fact that that clips and it stays, it's actually pretty thoughtful as well. So it just seems like Shure built a really nice set of headphones here. We can try kind of replacing this. So it looks like they want you to twist this off. Okay, they just fit really tightly. So we can try one of the rubber ones instead of the foam. I think that the foam is going to have like a higher noise reduction rating, while the rubber ones are probably going to be a little bit less. So for everyday use, I'm probably going to prefer the rubber ones, because I'll be able to actually have conversations with people with them like just paused while I've got them still in my ears without pulling them out of my ears. The foam ones, though, are probably better for noisy situations, like if you're going on an airplane or you're doing, you know, something like that. So let me put this in and see if I can kind of tell a difference. Yeah, so there is still a fair amount of noise reduction, but it's not quite as high as these are. It sounds a lot closer to the Beats X. But the seal is what's going to give you the bass response. So this might be the reason why my bass is better than the Beats X as well. So again, I'll give a full review on another video, but I think that they work pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with them for now. My first impressions. So that's it. Thanks for watching.